Hello, today I'm going to make a 5x7 landscape panel card using some items from our Winter Wonderland Christmas Blockbuster collection. The items you will need are the Festive Delivery from the Winter Wonderland Luxury Topper set, a piece of A4 silver mirror, assorted foam pads or double-sided tape, a pair of scissors, some construction glue, the paper trimmer and a 5x7 card blank with the score on the left hand side so it folds like that. Okay, let's get started. So what we're firstly going to do is create a panel using the front of the card. And we are going to use the paper trimmer for this one. So we're going to bring the paper trimmer in and unfolding the card so that you only cut one side of the cardstock. Align the score line to 4 inches and then trim off any excess card. And then that is going to create our panel at the front. And then we are going to mat that using silver mirror. Lovely. So we're going to mat the front of the card first, the inside of the card first, and then the front of the card. So first of all, I'm going to make a silver 5x7 mirror mat, and then one for the smaller panel. So I'm going to cut that to 7, turn it round, and then trim to 5. And that's one of my mats done. And then trim to, again, 7. And 4. Lovely. And then I'm going to move the paper trimmer out the way and put those onto the card. Then what I'm going to do is take the piece of foiled cardstock from the topper set and just make smaller mats to go on top of my mirror. Lovely. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer back in and do both panels. And I'd like this one with the postage stamp print on my panel. So I'm going to do that one first, which is the smaller front panel. So I'm going to do that to just under 4 inches. And then 7 and then 5 inches for the length. I'm just going to take my mirror down to 5 as well. Yeah, so that is going to be my front panel, and then we will do the one for the smaller one. And so that is going to be just under 7. And then just under 5. Brilliant. Lovely. So I'm going to mat all those layers just using our double-sided tape. Gently place that down on the mirror mat. Brilliant, and then I'm going to do the smaller one as well in exactly the same way. So then I'm just going to attach that. And then that is my card blank already made. And now I'm going to embellish using the toppers. So the toppers that I have decided to use is this one. So I'm just going to remove them from the sheet. They are already die cut and foiled. And I'm also going to use the this sentiment here at the bottom, which says, "What are you wishing for this Christmas?" As it matches the cardstock, the navy blue from that one. And then I'm also going to use the border strip, which I will need to just finish removing with scissors. And then that's all the toppers that I want to use today. Brilliant. And I am just going to lay them out so that they are in the placement that I desire. And you can spend a little bit of time getting them to just how you want them. So I'm going to do this one on the front panel with a small section just sticking out from the panel so that when you open it, you just get a bit more extra dimension. So I'm just going to use a pencil just to make a small mark on just where I'm not going to put my foam pads. And I'm going to use the large strips to cover a really large area of the topper. I'm going to keep all my frames together. I'm not going to press any of them out just because I really like them all. And I just want to cover up my, I don't want any cardstock showing through or anything like that. So I'm going to cut these foam pads down to my preferred length. And I'm going to put one more on as well. Lovely. And yeah, I'm just going right over those edges just so that none of the frames come away because they are die cut. I'm going to remove the backing off the foam pads and then just stick that onto the front of the card. Lovely. I'm then going to stick my border strip on. I'm going to do that flat to the card, so I'm going to use construction glue. And again, I'm going to mark off where I'm going to leave the border sticking out, and then I'm going to trim after with scissors to ensure that it is absolutely the perfect size across the card. So I'm going to add a small amount of glue onto that border. And then I'm going to bring the card blank back in and just stick it onto there. I'm going to let that bond and just stick that on there for a minute before I trim the excess border off. Lovely. And then turning it the other way and just using some scissors, just trim off any excess. I'm then going to put my sentiment on there. I'm just going to trim off any excess foiling that's been left over from removing it from the topper sheet. It's sometimes called pip snipping. It just ensures that you get a really, really neat line. And then I'm going to just place the sentiment sort of where I'd like it before I stick my foam pads on. Again, with the shape of the topper, I'm going to go in with my strips of foam pads and chop it down to the correct length. And I'm going to put one in the centre and just trim a little bit off that foam pad. I'm then just going to embellish with a few small silver gemstones. And I'm going to use my 3-in-1 tool to pick those up really easily and place them on perfectly. And I'm going to put them on each of the corners on this particular card. And this is my card all finished. So you get the panel, and there is a little bit of room here if you want to put an insert or do any stamping or put an extra sentiment on there. And then there's a smaller panel at the front of the card.